In terms of the capital market module of the advanced part of the class, the current design is that for the classes we have 8, each 1.5 hour classes. First 5, we are going to talk not in depth, but trying to have a good breadth to cover the capital market, mainly to focus on the fixed income and stock market. And the next 3 classes, we are going to look at the reinforcement learning, starting from the MDP, Markov decision process, evolved into Bellman equations, and finally look at one specific learning algorithm, Q-learning, that is pretty popular and going to be fairly powerful for our lab portion, that is to build a trading learner. For this part, the current design is to have 4 sessions, each about 2.5 to 3 hours. We start from the design and the implementation strategy, basically starting from scratch. So you will have the chance to really build something starting from collecting raw data until the point that you feel comfortable enough of your output. We will cover performance evaluation using pretty much some other machine learning solutions you have learned so far, like linear regression, tree models, or some even other advanced algorithms. And finally, we are going to learn how to use the Q-learning to build a trading learner. And then in the end, we are going to have some discussion around what we build in the end. I'm not thinking about to have a formal presentation in the end, but I'm open to it if you are all very interested in that kind of setting. There will be some take-home programming exercises being recommended, meaning you don't have to do it, but if you are really interested, I strongly encourage you to go through the exercise. I will assign some readings, supposed to be fun readings, so not on the technical part, but rather than some maybe bigger part of why we are trying to do a lot of things, including trading or investing or speculating, whatever you call it. Expectations. The class is, the goal from my side is to provide you some very basic financial literacy so that you won't feel stressed out in the future when you have to really think about why and how to approach certain financial decisions, and hopefully eventually leading to a wealth that you will build. Also, because this is part of the broader data scientist course, therefore we are going to practice more Python. So far, I think you had sufficient exposure to a lot of pre-built functions that you use to pipeline your process. In our session, I expect you to practice more Python in terms of writing your own functions to achieve whatever you need to, as well as classes. Let's try to write class of your Q-learner so that practice is a pretty critical concept in Python. Last but not the least, and to a certain degree, that's one of the most important parts of my part of the class, that is to share some lessons I learned in my life, pretty much. Not so much from success, but rather mostly from the failures I faced. I will talk about choices versus decisions, but let's see where that will lead us to. Earlier, Tara mentioned that I'm thinking to ask you to complete the lab part individually. The thinking is because, and you will see this a lot, this is a kind of a typical my thinking process. If somehow it works beautifully, which is defined as you can use the Q-learner you built to successfully trade the market to earn a wonderful profit, I'm pretty sure you don't want to share it. You want to keep it to yourself for as long as possible. However, anything short than that, which means either it's not that successful or it somehow seems working, but you don't really plan to use it, then at least I hope by completing the lab part entirely individually, from the scratch to the very end, you will have sufficient practice in terms of writing functions, classes, and achieve that kind of design thinking that Tara touched on. You are supposed to design such a trading algorithm start from the beginning to the end. So I think that is going to be mostly beneficial to you. And that's certainly what I want to achieve. And again, my part covers capital market stock trading, but I don't want you, at least not at this point, to start trading the market before you complete the course.